we can't get back in life. You can make as much money as you want. You can have as much riches. You could have as many cars and clothes. You can never get time back. So if you can do, welcome back to my series 48 Laws of Power, where I will be talking about and breaking down all the 48 laws of power, giving my interpretation of them and just explaining them to you so you guys know what they are and possibly how to use them for yourself. So to start out every episode, we are going to talk about the definition of what these laws are by Robert Greene, who is the one that created these laws. Greene states that whether you like it or not, you're part of a never-ending game of power. You're either striving for and wielding power, or you're a pawn being played by someone more powerful than you. You choose your role. These laws are for those who prefer to be players rather than pawns. So we're going to start right out and get into law number 5. So much depends on reputation. Guard it with your life. Nurture and guard your reputation because reputation is integral to power. With a strong reputation, you can influence and intimidate others. So I definitely do agree with this. Your reputation is very imperative, but I think it depends on the group of individuals that you care about your reputation with and how does that affect you in whatever you want to do in life. So a great example of this, whether you like it or not, is Kim Kardashian. So Kim Kardashian in the beginning, she stated it so many times before when she first started out, she just wanted to be famous. So she did all she could do to be famous, right? She created this reputation of being this girl that was always everywhere. We saw her with Paris Hilton. We saw her in other things. We always saw her, right? She always made sure she was seen. She was in so many different random publications and different things like that on so many random products. Like, we could not get her out of our face because she knew she had to build up a reputation because she didn't really have like necessarily a talent, but she wanted to be famous. And back then you weren't famous for no reason until after Kardashian, essentially. I say that to say, during that time period, she built up a reputation of always being seen because she knew that was what people had to be to become famous. Now, if you fast forward now, she's more of a businesswoman, right? She's very much so into business. She has different businesses, different things like that. Now, her reputation has changed for her target audience demographic. Before, her target audience were just everyone. She wanted everyone to know who she was. She wanted everyone to see her. Now her target audience is more so in the business world, more so, wealthy individuals, rich individuals. And so yes, some individuals inside of, the outside world will still have this interpretation of her as like, oh, this about her and that about her, and it might not be too good. But she's now changed her reputation to her target audience, being the business world. And now I can honestly say I've listened to many podcasts, I've, read different things, and business people talk about her in a way that she's a businesswoman and she get things done. I say that to say her reputation in the business world is very good. Now, when she first started, it probably wasn't. They probably looked at her as, oh, she'll be going by tomorrow. Who's this random girl? But that wasn't her target audience, so she didn't care. Now she changed it, and her reputation inside of the business world is to be a good businesswoman, and that's what she wants. And so I think that's imperative to understand your reputation based upon the individuals who actually can affect it and based upon the individuals that you actually care about. Because there are some individuals that may not like her. There are some individuals that talk about her or whatever. But for the people that dictate, business people alike like her, who she cares about, she makes sure she has a good reputation with them. And I think another example we've seen this with on the opposite end is Monique, the comedian Monique. And I don't know if you guys recently heard about what she's going through, but she went through a very much so of a dry spell in her career. And she went through that issue because Tyler Perry and Oprah Winfrey put out basically kind of sort of lies about her and gave her a bad reputation in the industry. Now, the industry, though, that was her target audience. And so when they got a bad reputation about her, she lost millions of dollars. She lost movie roles, TV shows, all these things because her target audience had a bad reputation about her. Now, if you think about it on the opposite end, a lot of people on the outside, fans and just regular people, we didn't really know what was going on. So we're just like, oh, well, Monique, we like Monique. What's wrong with Monique? She had a good reputation with us, but we weren't the people that were dictating her career. We weren't the people that were dictating dictating her money, right? And I think that's why I say it's very imperative to make sure you have a good reputation with the individuals that dictate the things that you want in life. And I think it's imperative to stand on your reputation. If something happens in your reputation where somebody says, you know, she's not this, or she doesn't do this, or he doesn't do that, you need to fix that. Like, take that as serious as a job, because if your reputation is messed up, then that could be the difference between you getting what you want out of life and not what you want out of life, because that's how everyone's going to perceive you, whether that's how you are or how you not. Once you have a bad reputation from the individuals that you really care about, it's hard to change that. So I think that is a very much so a good law and something for individuals to think about. And then also sometimes we may have bad ideas of people because other people made us think they had a bad reputation. But we don't know until I guess we know. Law number 6, create an air of mystery. Be outrageous or create an aura of mystery. Any attention, positive or negative, is better than being ignored. Attention brings you wealth. So I think this does make definite sense when it says create an air of mystery, right? Either you have to be outrageous or sometimes you have to be mysterious. And I think I definitely could see how this could happen on both spectrums, in the sense of a lot of times when it comes to building wealth, when it comes to being like crazy rich, you have to wield a very like, people really like you, or people don't like you. Sometimes I feel like nowadays it's very hard to ride in the middle and trying to be on both sides of the fence. And I think anybody who's really wealthy, they have to do outrageous things, right? So even if we think about like oh my gosh, the creative Amazon, why can I not think of his name right now? I can't think of it, so I'm gonna think of it after the video, I know. But even the creative Amazon, right now we think of the things, Amazon is so normal. We think of, you know, it just being something that's your everyday thing. But if you think about it, before him, like getting packages overnight was crazy. Having one website, like that was outrageous. Having one website where we can get everything from was outrageous. Like that wasn't a thing before. He's literally making companies die off that we knew for years, such as, you know, Toys R Us. Like companies we've known for years that were known for one thing can't compete with a company that can get you everything. And every year they come out with more and more stuff. They recently just signed a deal a couple months ago to start selling cars. I forgot what company. It might be Hyundai or something. But I say that to say that that's outrageous. And I think when it comes to building wealth, it is either that sense of outrageous or it is that sense of mystery that you have with individuals. And so a completely different person, which sounds very crazy, is 50 Cent. I actually recently read a book about him as well. And I talked about when he started his career and things happened. And if you're not aware, he got shot 9 times. And during that process, he got dropped from his label. They thought it wasn't a good look. They were scared. They're like, wow, he's really like into that type lifestyle. And they dropped him. So he just started coming out with, you know, mixtapes and songs and all this other stuff by himself. Mind you, he still is not wanting to really go outside. He's still recovering. So he doesn't really go out and perform them during that time period. Now, this is before, you know, YouTube. This is before Apple Music, all these other things. So it's like people are literally listening to him on a tape, but they're like, who is this guy? And mind you, he's dissing the people who, you know, shot him. He's talking about them, all this other stuff. And so it creates this mystery of like this gangster. Like he really started this whole gangster persona because it's like we're listening to him and he's talking his talk and he's talking about this, da, da, da. But like, who is he? Like it created that aura of mystery, whether he did it on purpose or not. But it's like he couldn't really go outside because he didn't really know who did whatever they did to him. And he's not at full health capacity. So it created this gangster persona, this gangster mystery, this guy that really be outside and really doing this, that, but you don't know who he is. And that helped build up his career. So I think those are two different sides of it. But I definitely could see how that aura of mystery can be beneficial for some people because it makes people want more. It makes people more enticed. Even on social media, right? When there's individuals who are millionaires or whatever the case may be, billionaires on social media, they only have like, they barely post 5 posts. It creates a sense of mystery. But I think the outrageous side as well can work. And like I said, also, I know bringing them up again, but with the Kardashians, like they've definitely used that to their advantage. We've seen that definitely happen as well with them, with coming out with outrageous things and outrageous things happening. And I think nowadays, whether we like it or not, that is a major way to build wealth, like being outrageous and doing things that's just like, wow. And I think there's benefits to it. There's also setbacks to it. But I think doing things that are different from the common folk, or doing things that are different, can honestly be good for a lot of us. Law 7. Get others to do the work for you, but always take the credit. Get others to do the work for you. Use their skill, time, and energy to further your ambitions while taking full credit. You will be admired for your efficiency. Now, I know a lot of people are going to listen to that and be like, that's wrong. You shouldn't take credit from others. You shouldn't. But honestly, I think we need to start using this a little bit more in life. And I think it actually can be beneficial. And I see this a lot in the service girlies, the girlies who do hair, the girlies who do nails, all these other things. I say that to say, I really don't care if in your bio it says self-taught hairstylist, self-taught nail tech. I actually don't really know how to feel about that, because I actually want somebody that went to school and really knows what they know how to do. I actually had a bad experience last year with a hairstylist. I was going to her for 2-3 years. I would never go to her again because she messed up doing something with my hair. And I feel like if she went to hair school, mind you, I know she didn't go to hair school, but I know she just been doing hair for a while. If she went to hair school, I highly doubt she would have made that mistake. I say that to say, when they say allow others to do work for you and take the credit for it, I don't necessarily think it means like literally have somebody write out something and be like, I did it myself. But I think there's like this weird, or there's like this self-claim like proudness or acclamation you think you're gonna get because you did things yourself. And I think actually having people teach you, actually taking courses and learning how to do hair, taking courses and learning how to do nails, you're using that person's time and their energy, but you're taking credit for it to a certain extent. Because when people say, oh, how long have you been doing nails? You could have taken 10 nail courses in 1 year, which sounds crazy, but you do nails really, really, really good now. People ask you how long you've been doing nails for 1 year. Wow, you're really good. Why? Because all the people you took courses for, that girl did nails for 5 years. That girl did nails for 10 years. That class did this, that class did that. And you're putting that together and you're breaking up the amount of time it would take you to learn from your mistakes, to learn from the things that you messed up on. And I mean, you can interpret that any way you want to interpret that law, but I think that actually can be useful to people. Like, actually take courses, actually do things that you can use, even reading books. Like, do things in which you can use other people's time and other people's mistakes. And when they say take credit for it, I don't think it's like you have to lie about it. Like, oh yeah, I'm self-taught. But I think it's a thing of nobody cares. Like, nobody cares that you learned how to start your business because you read a book. When people talk about your business, that $1 million business, that $1 billion business, they want to learn about the business, the ins and the outs and the this and the that. Like, when it says take credit, I don't think it's like you have to lie about it. But I think it's in a sense of you internalizing it, and you don't always just have to tell people. Because honestly, it's another thing of people not caring. Nobody cares if you were self-taught or you learned how to do nails yourself, as long as you know how to do the nail. Nobody cares if you got the business idea because you watched, 10 years of Shark Tank, or you got the business idea because for 30 years, you were trying to invent a business. Like, don't get me wrong, America does love a good hero story. I started from nothing, But at the end of the day, hero stories don't pay bills. Efficiency does. So it's like, if you can do things that can help you take away time, that's one thing we can't get back in life. You can make as much money as you want. You can have as much riches. You can have as many cars or clothes. You can never get time back. So if you can do things that can propel you and make you skip out on time, do it. That's one thing I really wish, and I'm still young, I'm 23, but I think that's one thing I really wish I internalized more being younger. I felt like I had to do everything by myself and everything. No, I wish I would have took from other people and kind of taking credit for it, because nobody really cares. No, like, they don't. They just want whatever you said you were gonna do, that you could do it. So there's that. Law 8. Make other people come to you. Use bait if necessary. Make your opponent come to you when you force others to act you're in control. Bait them, then attack. Now, personally, as I said in the previous video, I don't have enemies. So I don't really use stuff like the whole baiting thing. I actually did see it play out though on my timeline like 2 days ago, which is very random, but stick with me now. Long story short, if you're not familiar, the rapper Meek Mill and the rapper Wale, they were signed to the same label, are signed to I think they still are signed to the same label, but they have been beefing for years. Long story short, Meek Mill's ex-best friend took a picture with Wale and posted it, and Meek Mill went crazy this week, well, a couple days ago. He was talking so much junk about Wale, putting out Wale business, whatever, like, oh, you're fake. Of course you'll use this opportunity to click up with my enemy, da 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 da. And Wale simply responded with saying one simple, like, just tweet. And I forgot exactly what he said from verbatim, but he said something to a certain extent of like, when one picture can make people go like crazy, that's when you know we're in a bad time in the world, or you get what I'm saying, in life. And it was true. Like Meek Mill made so many tweets. He said so many things that he looked like a fool. And whether Wale did that or not, it was a sense of bait. He made this man look like a fool. He made this man pour out his heart and do all these simple things, and then he was able to attack and make himself seem more powerful, as I've mentioned in the law before, because he didn't say much. He still let off a sense of mystery. He still let off a sense of like, so is he mad or is he this? Like, you don't really know, but all he said was like, this is a crazy time period where a photo could make somebody on social media could really make somebody this mad and make somebody go off like this. And Meek Mill replied to that, of course, and went off again. But I think that's a good example of that I would say. Like I said before, I personally don't have any enemies, anybody I'm beefing with, have a problem with. So I've never really baited anybody. At least not on purpose. But I think it can be beneficial, because I think sometimes we try to clash with people. Like, they do something, we do something. It's like a game of tennis. They do something, we do something. Reply. But I think sometimes it can be done in a way where it's like you get people to show out. You get people to make a fool of themselves. And your response to it could be something subtle. It could be something like Wale. Like, oh, really? Like, wow, this is crazy. Didn't know. Wow. Even though you could have known. I don't know if he knew that's the, response he was going to get from the picture, but he definitely did bait him. So whether he did it on purpose or not. So I think that's a good, example of that. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching my video. Those were the 4 laws for today. Like I said, I'm going to be doing all 48 laws. So we still have 40 more. So don't forget to follow and turn on your post notifications so you're always notified when I post a new law. And please, I want this to be a dialogue for us. So comment below if you agree with any of these laws. Comment below if any of these have happened to you before. Comment below, your interpretation of them. Like, I want to know you guys' interpretation of them. Would you use any of these, anything like that? Because I really want to know how you guys feel about them. And of course, I definitely recommend to read the book 48 Laws of Power, which is where I am referencing all of this from. But if you don't read it, you know where to find all of it. So thank y'all and have a great one.